Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. As the Secretary of State for Scotland, it's a real delight to be back here in Aberdeen, a very, very special place. How else do you account for the fact that pretty well every MP has a title? Dame Anne, Sir Malcolm, Sir Robert. Poor Frank must be feeling quite inadequate. But clearly it's only a matter of time. It is really, really impressive to see the gathering we have here today. And like Vince and Ed before me, may I pay tribute to plain old Malcolm Webb for his work in getting you, very busy people, to be here today. The civic leaders of Aberdeen and Aberdeenshire as well. You know how special this industry is. Your professional careers have been built in it. You know what more there is to come. For me, what today is about is making sure you understand that we in the UK government get that. That we see this as an industry, as a sector that not only has produced for Scotland, for the United Kingdom, but for the world up until now, but has decades of opportunity ahead of it as well. I think it's important that with today's strategy launch, what we do is not just celebrate that here in Aberdeen, the hub of Britain's energy industry, but that we spread that message around the United Kingdom too. 400,000 jobs in this sector, of which 200,000 are in Scotland or thereabouts, most of them here in this great city and the surrounding area. But that's a lot of people elsewhere in the UK who also are part of this industry. That's why Vince and Ed are here so often. That's why they are so committed to getting a proper industrial strategy here that brings together government and industry uniquely to work together collaboratively to deliver the maximum value we can from this sector for very many years to come. I hope you will see the strategy as a sign of the confidence that we have in your sector and our determination to ensure that it has a very long-term success. It really is about partnership. We can be candid. Relations between governments successively and the industry haven't always been easy. We've had our moments ourselves. But I have constantly been impressed by the willingness of not just Oil and Gas UK, but the senior figures in this industry to spend quality time making sure that we all understand the significance and the complexity of the sector and do our bit to support you. There's a lot that's about the hard economics, about how we sustain production, how we make sure we get real value out of this. But there are many different aspects to it that we need to make sure we're focused on. Ed mentioned his conversations with Commissioner Oettinger about the health and safety regime. Very active engagement by Ed and by the rest of us with the Commission to ensure that the very high standards that we see here in the North Sea, with absolutely no complacency, are seen to lead in Europe, and that we have an environmental and a safety regime that is fit for purpose and doesn't have unnecessary burdens. But beyond these big issues that integrate into this strategy today, there are many exciting opportunities. As anyone travels the world, they'll know that the academic institutions of this part of Scotland, this part of the UK, are world-renowned and contribute hugely to our reputation and have great potential for the future as well. Recently in Brazil, I was struck in the southern province of Rio Grande do Sul at the hunger there for significant partnership and knowledge transfer from Aberdeen academic institutions, those elsewhere in Scotland, Imperial in London, all the expertise and academic know-how we have to form valuable partnerships across the continents. That is a great potential for us and one we must properly exploit. But we also have, as Ed and Vince have also remarked on, a world-leading, not just world-class, world-leading supply chain. Something that is understood and recognised around the world. our expertise in getting as much as we can out of this mature basin, with the announcement about Clare today, showing our expertise and our dynamism in moving into new areas which previously were off limits. All of this is recognised globally and something that we should celebrate and ensure we exploit globally. Wherever you travel, I recognise this room will have some of the most colourful passports anywhere in Scotland. But from Azerbaijan to Kazakhstan, from Brazil to Houston, wherever it is, Aberdeen, Scotland, our oil and gas sector is celebrated, and rightly so. With 100,000 jobs that are, in one way or another, supported by the export of our goods and services, there's a lot at stake here, and there can be for many decades to come. We want to see Aberdeen continue to develop its role as a global hub for expertise in all kinds of disciplines related to the oil and gas sector. It's vital that we work with you to deliver that. I've seen for myself overseas where the expertise we have here is celebrated and in great demand. Bowtech Products, who produce underwater cameras, going through the time-consuming but with persistence, going to secure the process which ensures they have a strong place in Brazil, supported by our colleagues at UKTI and the consulate in Rio. They're also supporting RDS, KCA Deutag, who are providing drill simulation and training facilities, again establishing a partnership in Brazil. As a government, we recognise that for some of the companies away from those, I may put it this way, big enough and ugly enough to look after themselves, there's a real role for government in supporting the smaller companies to find their footing in markets overseas. And in UKTI, we have world-leading capability to support you and your colleagues in that work. Only that way will the skills and ingenuity that we have here in Scotland provide the opportunity and the value elsewhere that is so important for us. Today's strategy launch is, of course, a symbolic moment. I think it is deeply significant, irrespective of party, that 3 Secretaries of State are gathered here with you to underline the importance of this to the United Kingdom government, that on a cross-party basis, politicians are here to support your sector. But symbols don't pay the bills. Symbols don't provide that bright economic future. Real hard work does. The test for us now is to make this real. We're committed to that. Thank you.